What's up again, everybody? I have something very special to share with you today, and that is this right here. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Sorcery Contested Realm. It is what can only be described as a love letter to 80s and 90s RPGs, trading card games, and all things counterculture, nerd culture. It's fantastic, and if you have just a deep-seated love for beautiful art and aesthetics, all wrapped up in modern gameplay, this might just be something you should keep your eye on. As I mentioned, I backed this very heavily and was very emphatically supportive of this at the Kickstarter release of this last year because I am just taken aback by the quality that is oozing out of this product, and I am so thankful to get to share this with you. This was sent to me by Eric's Curiosa, which is the name of the company, over in New Zealand, funnily enough, over in New Zealand, who put this product together. And this box, strangely enough, is a 39 booster pack product that you can see here is fully realized in all of its glory. And we are going to open this up, and as we do, I am going to tell you everything that you possibly need to know about this game if you're brand new to it, and or if you just have some questions. We are going to discuss it. So, what is this game? Outside of all of the fantastic praises that I lauded on it in the intro, this is a trading card game. And it's interesting because it's a trading card game, but I would describe this sort of as a hybrid between a trading card game and a board game in some respects, because this is a trading card game played on a gridded 5x4 board. It is a tactical card game, and you're going to open up booster packs, as we're going to do here as we break this seal. I have seemed to have misplaced my box cutter, so these scissors will have to suffice in place. But you're going to open up booster packs. You're going to create a deck that you will then play as. And whoa, look at this. I did not know that there were box toppers in here. But look at that beautiful, beautiful box topper. It looks like it's multiples, actually. This was a surprise for me. I did my best to compile a list of things I wanted to talk about with regards to the set so that I could most easily and hopefully most clearly and succinctly help you understand your way through this product. But this is new to me because I did not know these were up there. But look at this beautiful sorcerer. So this, by the way, is your avatar, and look at the stamping. See if I can get that to capture clearly in person. Look at this stamping, cold foil stamping of the text here. So as I've mentioned, this trading card game, it essentially it beats you over the head with just the aesthetics of it, with the commitment to just quality and general, like, unified form of art and aesthetic. That is a very beautiful looking winter river. You're playing it from the perspective of one of these avatars. You're picking an avatar, and then that avatar has an ability that you then can use throughout the game. You are moving around from location to location, so there's an emphasis on discovery, creativity in that respect. And you are battling against your opponent to do the natural TCG thing of reducing their life points to 0, critical strike. Look at that. And one of the cool things that I think it permeates this game's feeling of just aesthetics in general is the way that they tackle the card templating, and also just how they delineate what rarity you're looking at. So for example, this is an ordinary card, so you can consider that like a common card, but instead of just putting like a C or, you know, like making a different colored symbol, they literally just write it out old school RPG style, and it just makes me feel all the feelings. Ordinary magic of piercing precision. The Syrian Templar here takes no damage from demons, spirits, or undead. It is an exceptional mortal bane of all evil. Some of these pieces of art are just so beautiful. As I said, they are fully committed to just the aesthetic, and all of these pieces of art that you're seeing are hand-painted, commissioned by the company, and these all exist in like physical form. They are paintings, and look at that, they are committed to the artists, so much so that they put them on their own art card, which is very, very cool. Okay, so as we go through this, I'm going to try and give you as much info as possible for the old Sorcery Contested Realm. Where's a good spot That seems like a good spot that we can kind of see that. This is a 39 pack booster box, which is interesting because the I think the first edition, the alpha editions, are going to be 36 packs. Nevertheless, this is a product that you can tell is clearly made with a lot of love and intentionality. And as far as gameplay, as we crack into this, as far as gameplay is concerned, you again are playing as an avatar. You are considering movement as part of your strategy. You're building a deck of cards with a variety of rarities, and there's a bunch of different cards that you can kind of mix and mingle. There's elements as well that you can mix and mingle. Look at this Phantom Steed. It is an exceptional beast here. Exceptional is like the second rarity, as you can describe it. Maybe you consider that uncommon, perhaps. There should be 3 of those right here. Fey Changeling, Exceptional Fairy, and an Unwelcome Guest. That is unwelcome in my house, yes. And then we have a Ruins here. So interestingly enough, as you're playing this, in order to move around the board, you actually have to discover or create the site that you're moving to, the square that you're moving to. It's not just there automatically, and it's not just blank. The sites that you move into are created from either from you or from your opponent, and they have effects, and they do different things, and they give you resources, and they are flavorful in and of themselves. And so they encourage you as you explore this exceptional site of fire and air, a dual resource generating site here. They encourage you, ooh, the elite card of this set. That is crazy looking. Elite Giants bear the weight of the world, Atlas Wanderers. Encourage you to kind of feel the feeling of, just like exploration, discovery. From this point in the pack, by the way, if you're curious about pack distribution, we had 3 exceptional cards. We have 1 elite card. This could also be a unique card, which is sort of the top-end rarity, if you will. And at this point, we have 10 ordinary cards. So we have Blizzard, Magic Slayer, which is brutal and also just beautiful. This art is insane. Cave Trolls, Drown, beautiful little card there. Wall of Fire, there is a possibility for a foil, and so we always want to keep track because they actually tuck the foil in any spot in the box. Wall of Air, Mad Dash, Ice Lance, that is a really cool piece of art. Grapple Shot card is very good from what I've been told. I did not play this card when I personally tried the game out, and I did try the game out. You can try the game out for yourself and play it for yourself. I met up with some people over Discord, and we tried the game out ourselves. By the way, this is one of the sites that you get in the back, which is very cool, in your secondary deck that you call the Atlas deck. Yeah, I played it, and I really enjoyed the tactical nature. As far as gameplay is concerned, it does, it very much feels like your decisions matter. Like there's a lot of decisions to be made. It's a nice mixture of a card game and a board game in a lot of ways, because you're playing on this tactical board and because you're kind of building the board as you go. It does feel very reminiscent of a board game in some respects. And so if you're into that sort of thing, this is definitely something you might want to consider. And yes, this is, by the way, the alpha set as well. Mudflow, an exceptional site awash with sludge. Put all these together. Look at the Spire Lich here. If he is atop a tower, it has +2 ranged and spellcaster. Interestingly enough, these cards feel very flavorful based on like this, for example. I just want to point this out. It says if this is atop a tower, which means that if there's a card that references a tower, then this is gaining benefits from that. It's not simply just gaining benefits, based on like a thing that you have. It is actually gaining benefits from a simple like card being a tower, and that card could not be a tower. That card could end up being like a floating castle, or it could end up being like a maelstrom, and like the weirdness that can happen in the game adds to the flavor and the flair. These little dragons, look at them, so cute. Look, we have an elite site pointing in the right direction, and this has a Genesis effect, which means it comes down into play and does something, which is kind of cool. That is our elite site there. Swamp Buffalo, just chilling. Dispel, Sacred Scarabs, Swan Maidens, Sandworm. There's some really cool cards in this. Fire Harpoons. All right, look, that's a pirate. You know how I feel about pirates. That's a pirate right there. I'm just saying, the person that's getting harpooned, probably a pirate. Person doing the harpooning, definitely a pirate. The Petrosian Cavalry. Amazon Warriors, a card I actually did play with when I played. You can play this on Tabletop Simulator if you want to give it a try, and I do recommend that you give it a try. Hey, speaking of towers, there's Dark Tower, an ordinary site of contemplation. If this is the only Dark Tower you control, gain 1 this turn. There's a lot to kind of reflect on or kind of take in when you're first picking this game up or seeing it as far as a gameplay is concerned. But if you've played board games and you've played card games, there's a lot to kind of connect to. The resource system, and that is one that I know everyone always asks when looking at a new game. The resource system is interesting in that the resources are generated, and I did this pile wrong. How silly of me. The resources are actually generated via the sites that you create or the sites that you play. So check this out. For example, this Ruins here is generating these resources for you when you play it. And that is very good if you want to pay for the cost of, I don't know, like, for example, Muck, Lampreys, or even better, Critical Strike. Critical Strike costs 2. You have to have 2 resources here. And the little triangle symbol, which you can see corresponds right there. And so essentially what you're doing is you are moving characters around. You are then using those characters to kind of fill out the board and create your resources. And as you do that, you're discovering more and you are generating more, allowing you to kind of ramp up, which creates a really fun back and forth kind of dynamic. Psionic Blast, Phantom Steed again, Nimbus Gen is our elite spirit of turbulent terror. Snow Leopard as the ordinary. There's some cards in here that I personally have my eye on that I really want to get as far as collecting goes, like pirate ships. Are you kidding me? An ordinary ship of mortal scum. I don't even care. There's literally a song on here. Build me straight over. I'm not gonna read the whole song. There's a literal song. I need someone to make that into a real song. Maybe I need to sit down and make it into a real song. Wicker Mankin. Is that man? Yeah, it is Mankin. Scourge Zombies, and then in the back we have the Arid Desert. Hey, any game that has pirates is a game that I enjoy. The cool thing about this, and I hope that you've experienced it thus far, is everything here, as you're opening this, everything feels intentional. Everything feels bespoke. It all feels handmade, and that's because, well, it is handmade, but it feels like just so aesthetically tied together. And it feels very reminiscent of like the old like RPGs from the 80s and 90s. Windmill here. Evil Presence. Monster Hunter. Oh, Blasted Oak. Look at this. This is a unique monument to Grim Persistent. If a spell or non-basic ability can target in order of precedence Blasted Oak, its site or location, or anything else at its site or location, it must. So it just pulls it all in. That is really cool. And that is a beautiful piece of art as well. That is our first unique. You can only have one unique in your deck, by the way. When deck building actually happens, this is one of my favorite arts. That's beautiful. Look at that. When deck building occurs, you can have 4 of any ordinary card in your deck, which is more common. You can have 3 of any exceptional card. You can have 2 elites of the same card, right? Oh, I see a foil in this pack. And you can have exactly 1 of any unique. Look at that Firebolt's art. That is really cool. And the foil. Whoa. Oh, no. This is such a good one. Oh, man. Okay, so I actually played this card. This is an Exceptional Spirit, Whereabouts Unknown. Oh, this was one of the, like... Okay, so the cool thing about this game is when you play it, it plays so freaking differently every single time. And we played it like 3 times in a row. And it was like 2 to 3 hours of gameplay. And every game felt completely different. And the game that I played this card in, it felt amazing because I was literally... So you're going to teleport this character, this spirit, to random sites or the void. And I'm literally like thinking of the odds of if it goes here or over in this place, then I need to do this, and then if it goes here, I need to do this. And there's a literal point where like it teleports, and I felt so freaking good of thinking of the eventuality of what would happen if it went there, that when it went there, oh, I felt like the smartest person in the world. And look at this foil job. First of all, the foiling is absolutely beautiful, and I'm not doing it justice with this recording. But then you have all the text up here is all cold pressed. It's all cold foil. Ooh, and it's slightly embossed. That is a beautiful card, and one I am super excited to see. Oh my gosh. Like, okay, there's a few cards on my list, and I hadn't even thought about that card since we played. There's a few cards on my list that I definitely wanted in foil. And that is a cool one to add to the start of the collection. I'll tell you the one, if I can remember the name of it. It was, oh man, it's the reason I want it in foil is because the art is by far the most beautiful piece of art that I've seen thus far, and it is, oh my god. I'll put it on the screen. It's the one with the girl sleeping. I forget the name of it, like Dreamwalk or something like that. It is a fantastic piece of art. I've heard Mariner's Curse, anything pirates, I'm in. I've heard it is a pretty decent card to play as well. I mean, when you read it, you're like, yeah, that card seems really good. It's a tutor, so anything that tutors is like super solid. But it was like up there, because the moment I saw the art, I literally commented on Twitter when they revealed the art. I was like, this is beautiful. And it truly is. I hope we see it in this box somewhere as we go, because it is quite nice. Fire the Harpoons again. Oh, we have another foil here. Plague of Frogs. Unique magic in its most annoying form. Summon 7 frog tokens. I got taken aback because it says a unique magic. That's a unique foil. I am shocked by that. Is that really a unique foil? That's amazing. Now, that's the thing about this pack distribution too, is they hide it in there, which I think is a great thought, because it makes you, there's another grapple shot. It makes you look through it and really take your time with the packs. If you blast through this, you can miss things in the middle. This, by the way, if you're curious, is the alpha printing. There is going to be a beta printing later on. The alpha printing is for Kickstarter backers. So if you backed this on Kickstarter, this was, by the way, a huge Kickstarter. It was very successful. We got another Ruins, which is great. And then we have an Elite Mortal serves the highest bidder, Seasoned Sellsword, which is very cool. If you play Flesh and Blood, that reminds me of Kasai. Straight up reminds me of Kasai. Entangled Terrain, Polar Bears. Literally just an art of just polar bears. You can just have polar bears in the game, which is super fantastic. If you're, this is so fun. Minor Explosion. Look at the art. Look at that. If you're personally taken aback, there it is again, pirate ships, by this art. Just know that every time you look at these cards, every time that you open packs like this, the experience is so good. And this is a huge set. It's 400 cards. So you're not going to open a box and then see everything and be like, cool, well, I kind of know what to expect. You're always going to find something new, like Rimland Nomads. This piece, fantastic. Look at that art. It's fantastic. And then you look at the card and you're like, okay, movement +1 takes no damage from deserts. Okay, cool. It's got 2 health and 2 attack. This number represents its power and basically also represents its toughness. Got a little village here as well. And as you play, you're moving your characters around. The goal of the game is to defeat your opponent, remove their life total. There's a nice little feature in this wherein if your opponent, basically, if you take all their life, and your opponent goes down to 0, they are not technically dead in that moment. You have to, like, they're what's called on death's door, and you have to deliver one final blow. So you basically have to poke them once more of any amount of damage, and that's when you win the game. That is a beautiful iceberg. Which I think is a really cool little mechanic, because it does give you this feeling of like, okay, I can take it all the way down to 0, but then once I'm there, what in the world am I looking at? Once you're there, I'll finish my thought and then I'll look at this crazy art. Once you're there, then you have to like, okay, can I maneuver out of this? I literally take any damage, I'm dead. Cornerstone. First of all, you can play it at one of your corners, which is hilarious. Look at this. This is so crazy. It's just, Adept Illusionist, an elite mortal with duplicitous skills. That is fun. Tap, search your hand, cemetery, or spellbook for another Adept Illusionist and summon it nearby. Shuffle if needed. So you can just start bringing them out of nowhere. Oh, that's fun. Now, unfortunately, there's only 2. You can only run 2 because it's elite, and you can run 2x copies. And there's the crabs. You always want to watch out for crabs. You don't want to get these crabs. That is unfortunate. They can only move sideways, though, which is incredibly thematic and flavorful, and the art matches perfectly. Oh, it's so funny. As you're playing through the game, too, like you and your opponent are doing just like these weirdest things, and sometimes you just have no clue what's going to happen when you're first picking up the game. At least I didn't. And you experience something, and you're like, okay, that exists. That's a thing that can happen. The caravan, common sense, tufted turtles, and then a red desert in the back. And you just kind of have to roll with the punches. But the more you play it, I feel like the more you're going to be able to kind of like identify, just like with any TCG, what the deck that you're playing against is trying to do, how your deck is sort of tailored to attack that. And as you're doing this too, you're also building your deck and you're playing to your own strengths, because you can pick different avatars. Oh, there's Headless Haunt. There it is. You can pick different avatars to play as that do different things and that have different sort of affiliations. Secret Tunnel. Burrowed allies can move if they were adjacent to your other sites. And of course, there's effects like Burrow, which kind of look at where you are and put you below the ground. And if you can't survive below the ground, you die, because theme is above all. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Island Leviathan, an elite site of dormant monstrosity. Transform into a monster. Place flooded rubble underneath. Look at how much that costs. That's the, I believe that's the water symbol for water, right? And that cost 8. And if you have it, it gets 8 toughness. That is really cool. There's the Wicker again. Incinerates, a new card we haven't seen yet. Sleep. Fire Harpoons. Man, I really want to see that card. I can't believe I blanked on it. I was thinking about it right before I started recording, and then I just started thinking about all the cool things to talk about. Speaking of burrowing, cave trolls can survive underground, and they perhaps even thrive in some ways. It's just so crazy. There's just this like relentless emphasis put on just quality and aesthetics as you're flipping through this, and it does not feel, I mean, it feels like a modern product because you could see the quality across the board, but when you're like looking at this card, it does not feel like from this era. It really does feel like it's from a bygone era in all the best ways. And yet, here's a giant shark. There's just a giant shark, an exceptional beast that smells blood in the water. This is a beautiful piece. Look at this Guile Sirens. The colors on that, fantastic. Submerge at the start of your turn. Force target nearby enemy minion to take a step towards. You're calling them with your sirens. All-terrain vestments. Elite armor fit for any adventure. Doesn't matter if you are going to get burrowed. You can burrow yourself. You can submerge, and you can walk in the void. By the way, void walk means if you don't have access to like a site, it's considered part of the void because it hasn't been created yet. You haven't gone out there and created. Wow, look at that. Blood Ravens. I appreciate the choice of not putting a border on these. It makes it to where like you're really enveloped by the art, and you have to interface with it. It's popping out at you, right? Like the box is almost there as just a reminder that this is a game piece and not just like a piece of art that you just want to stare at. Look at that. Gothic Tower, ordinary site of rumination. If this is the only Gothic Tower you control, gain 1 this turn. That's pretty cool. As far as other pieces of information you should know about the game, the beta edition that will be available to non-Kickstarter backers, that guy's missing his head, is going to be available later this year. Got the same Cornerstone site. The deliveries on the... Oh, that is a beautiful piece. Look at that. Geez, I want to say things, but I keep getting taken aback. The deliveries on the alpha are apparently going to be fulfilled very soon. They are on the boat, on the way. Old Salt Anchorman, which is just funny. Border Militia. Ooh, we have another foil here. And look at this. Is it teleport and teleport? Hey, that's kind of funny. Got a foil of the exact same card right next to each other. Look at that cool foil job. They do a mirrored finish type foil on the main portion of the card, but they mask it. So in a lot of what similar other TCGs are doing, where they kind of pick the spots they want to foil and then they unfoil the rest of it, so that you get more of an effect. It's very cool. And the foiling here, it's, as you can see, it's not a foil per pack. Like, we only have 3 foils, and we've cracked through a fair number of packs already. So you're going to have a higher premium on foil cards. And as you can see, we've pulled a foil like ordinary, a foil unique, and a foil exceptional card in just the packs that we've opened. And so it's really kind of all down to whatever you see, whatever you get, and that's going to make trading certain things. Wow, that is so cool. Man, look at these. What the heck? It's going to make trading and like chasing and collecting a very fun experience, at least in my opinion. A unique armor for traipsing and japesing. Bear has movement +7. Oh my god, that's crazy. So normally you can only like move a set number of squares, right, with any given card without modifiers. And yet there are cards that say nay. Blink, Paulbury Bats, and there's the Gothic Tower again. There's an active community online. I would recommend heading to Discord. They played a league recently where you could just literally play through the league and kind of take your deck. I don't know the exact specifics of whether or not they allowed deck switching at the time, but they basically allowed you to kind of jump in and play through with a deck, kind of experience the game. Blaze, blistering speed, beautiful. Anui Undine. One of the things that I also wanted to point out, this is cool, a unique sight of Beguiling Riches. The first time an avatar stops here, they draw 3 cards and skip their next turn. So avatars, you can pull avatars in packs, but we have not seen one in a pack yet. I believe it would be in the back slot, if I remember correctly. But again, we haven't pulled one yet, and so that is something that we want to keep our eye out for. This is a great card, by the way. Just a simple 3 cost, 3 power, and has range, so you can attack from afar. Really clutch in some games that I played. When I played this for the first time, I think it led to my loss, my defeat at the hands of Brendan Patrick. Arsenal Pass. I think he defeated me with that, or did I kill him with that? I can't remember. Ask him. We'll ask him. Wildfire. Hey, it's a good card, man. I know Wildfire. Thunderstorm. Exceptional aura of tempestuous fury. That is very cool. And then we have a beautiful floodplain, followed by a belfry. Untap all nearby allies. Wall of ice is here. Wall of air. Berry. Land Surveyor, Mortality, Belmont Longbow, and the Highland Clansman. Got another Scarecrow, the Polar Bears, and Humble Village as well. This is a it's a card game that you're gonna definitely want to set down at the kitchen table. It's gonna take some real estate because you play it on a 5x4 grid. At the same time, it's one of those that I feel like if you have the pre-constructed decks for, it's just as easy to run back any game in the moment. Oh, wow, look at this. With those pre-constructed decks and just play. To me, it feels a lot like a board game night. When we sat down to play this, even over TTS, Tabletop Simulator, it felt like a board game night, like I've hosted in the past. This is a fun example of how they use the grid-based system. You're going to pick 3 sites or 3 grids that share no borders, deal damage equal to them, each unit atop the sites in each area of effect. So you're going to pick one that hits for 3, one that hits for 4 with a 2 splash, on all the adjacent squares, and then one that hits, or orthogonal squares, and then one that hits adjacently for 7, 5, and 3, which is very cool. So 3 different strikes there. We've got the Sacred Scarabs, which is a very fun. Oh, Deep Sea Mermaids, Merfolk of Mysterious Depths. I've heard merfolk are popular things. I love this art as well. I think it's a fantastic little piece. Porcupine, Pufferfish, Mad Dash. Got the Old Salt Anchorman, and Autumn River. Ooh, beautiful little just autumn. I would love to sit there at that river during autumn time. Seems like a nice place to be. So down in the comments below, I want you to tell me what your first impression, if this is your first impression of Sorcery. I want to know what your first impression is. I kind of want to hear your opinions thus far. Look at that Torshammer trinket. That is pretty cool. Bearer has +1 power. Frost Nova. Ooh, and we have a mix. Okay, so there's a cycle of cards that are all mixes, and they're potions. As you can see, this is an elite potion and briny brew. Sacrifice it this turn. Bearer's next water spell requires no threshold and costs 3 less to cast. Threshold, I believe, if I remember correctly from when I played it, is the kind of cap that you need multiples of. But correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. Like, for example, I believe this is costs 3 and 2 of them have to be the water symbol in this case. Ordinary magic of guttering failure. Teleport. We've got Boil. Look at that. That's cool. Pirate ship. Minor explosion. There's the old land surveyor. Overpower. Again, I just like that art. I love that style. It's very like oil painting-esque. Reminds me a lot of like oil paintings from God, what is the country? Why did I blank? Flemish. Reminds me of Flemish oil paintings. Am I way off on that? Is that right? Shrink. Little dude. Look at the little dude just shrunk down there. Monster Hunter. We got the Blaze again, followed by a Royal Bodyguard. Minor explosion. Wall of air. This is a game that if you sit down and play it, teach it to your family or your friends, anyone that likes board games, much more likely to jump in on this. Common sense. I mean, it's just common sense that they would like this. The Lone Tower is the only one you get +1. If they like board games, you can hook them that way. If you like trading card games, you can angle at them with the trading card hook of you can build your own deck. There's decks that you can build yourself or tweak yourself. You're not kind of stuck just playing what's on the board, which is great. There's lots of benefits, in my opinion, to this, which is why I backed this so heavily. I picked one of the upper tiers of backing just because I thought it was incredibly fun. Wow, that is a beautiful piece. I did not know this card existed. Each affected site provides 1 additional mana. Nice. Amazon Warriors, a Dead of Night Demon. That's just horrifying. That's just not good. We just don't want to see that right before we go to sleep. I'm sorry if you had to see that. Oh, hey, we got a foil sight. These are hard to come by. Foil sights of any kind. I mean, even this one, this is a very basic one. It is a rustic village. It's an ordinary sight, provides earth when you play it. So Genesis, you can pay 1 to summon a foot soldier token here. Card's good, and that is a great little foil to hit, even though it's ordinary. Like, just super solid. Got a Bosk troll in the back. That's fun. So there's a lot of angles and a lot of reasons why you could jump in on this and give it a try. And it is one, like I said, that I did back at one of the higher tiers. I don't do a lot of Kickstarter backing of anything, much less just TCGs in general, simply because I will back something and then I'll just be like, oh, okay, now can we just get it? Can it just be here? And sometimes, you know, good things come to those who wait. This is a great card. Midland Army. 8 power, 8 toughness, whatever you want to call it. Costs a ton, but it's unique, so you can only run this one. Tap it, target a location up to 3 steps away, so 3 kind of spaces away. Deal 4 damage to each unit there. Deathrite, so when it dies, summon a foot soldier token to each adjacent location. That is a really good card. Also a good card, and I believe at the time, this card was going through some like tweaks and nerfs. The Midnight Rogue apparently was very popular at the time, from what I was told from the people that I played alongside. And it was quite good. It was hard to deal with. Riptide, Heat Ray, that is a beautiful piece of art. Wall of Fire, we've got the Bone Rabble. There's a lot of new cards that we had seen in that pack that we hadn't seen before. The Lone Tower as well. Oh, yep, I should have just been doing that pop method. That pop method is far better. Oh, there's one thing I should also mention. This is the other thing. So these foil cards, check this out. I want to point this out. I forgot to mention this, and I thought about it as I was looking. So, for example, Headless Haunt here. Foil on one side. On the other side, it's just the full art. Textless. So if you know the text of the card, you can play the foil side and enjoy that experience of seeing the foil and like all the shine. And then you can also just see the full art, so you can enjoy the experience of the art. I very much like that. And if you're not playing like a game with sleeves, then you can see that as you draw it, which is probably a bad idea. So you should probably play with some sleeves. Slumbering Giantess, Sling Pixies, Court Jester at the Elite. What is that? Elite Mortal with a mischievous smile. At the end of your turn, each nearby avatar discards a random card, which is kind of fun. Border. Oh, I see another foil in this pack. Border Militia. We got the Scarecrow. Can you see the glint of it? I can kind of see it on the screen. Wicker. Let's see what it is. Roaming and hey, we had to get something. Look at that, Fire Harpoons, just for me. It's a pirate card. We needed it in our lives right away. I love that. Deep down, I was kind of hoping for that, just because it just makes a ton of sense. It's like so on brand. Pirates are cool, people. We all just need to just embrace the fact that pirates are really cool, because they are, and especially in trading card games. They are quite awesome, and it just fits. Tell me so far what your favorite card that you've seen thus far is. So out of everything we've opened to this point, let me know your favorite card. And who knows, we may just hook you up with that exact card. Phase Assassin. Now that is some art. Sound off in a comment below. Oh, beautiful. Self-same Simulacrum. I just love the names too. It's like they don't handhold you. Like, yeah, these are hard to pronounce names, or they're just like advanced words, and I just love that. I like that. It's not it requires you to do something with it. Whoa, another foil sight. God, that feels really good, that embossing. Dome of Osiris, a unique site of sacred communion. This site and minions here can't be attacked. Whoa, that's actually awesome. That's really cool. Wow, we've gotten some good cards. Exorcism. That art is crazy good. Holy crap. When you hold these cards in your hand, you just look at them like that. That is insanely cool. This is really, really cool. This is awesome. And this is not the, for me, this is not the first tactical trading card game I've played. So I've played several before this. One of them being Genesis, Battle of Champions. And there's a lot of similarities that I've experienced. Wow, this is a great card, Pact with the Devil. Unique magic commands a heavy price. Sacrifice the caster or lose half of your life, rounding up. If you do, draw 3 cards. This card is really good. Draw 3 cards. And you can cast this as the avatar, you know, as your avatar that you're embodying and playing as. And if you do, you're probably losing half your life. But you can also create spellcasters, which we've seen some of, I think. Where's the... no, maybe we haven't seen any of them yet. I thought there was one. It might be in one of these stacks, because I have been mixing my ordinaries and my exceptionals. But if you have a spellcaster, this can be cast by the spellcaster, and you can just sack it. Which is really good. Cards really good. Drawing cards is what I like to do. And anything that lets me draw cards is what I would build first. You can also tell me that, based on what you've seen thus far, what kind of play style or kind of deck would you try to build? Hey, we found our first avatar, which is funny because it's actually that foil avatar up there. That's pretty awesome. Tap, play, or draw a sight. Draw a spell. I should go into that. So the interesting thing about the way this game plays is you are actually drawing cards from 2 different decks. You have your kind of like main deck, and then you have your site deck or your atlas, which is where you're going to be getting a lot of these sites from. And you're actually going to choose what you're going to draw from and choose to kind of sculpt your hand with what you need at the time. Do you need to explore more? Do you want to set up shop and just create, you know, like your creatures instead? How do you want to play out your turn? Ooh, Puppet Master. Very cool looking. Look at that. Dude's just a master of puppets over there. And through that process of just making your decisions of how you want things to play out, here we have another... Oh, what do we got? Oh, a Blizzard, an ordinary aura of Forestalling Frost. That's a pretty good card. Cost 1 and it kind of stalls your opponent from movement. Ordinary foil, but man, talk about a good ordinary foil right there. I forgot what I was talking about. I was distracted by the cool foils and things that we've found thus far. You're drawing, that's right. You're drawing from two different two different decks, and you're trying to decide how you best want to approach your following turns. An exceptional mortal, hits and runs, and unlikely alliance. Fun little card there. And so as you're sculpting your deck, you're also sculpting your site deck. Like when you're building your deck beforehand, you are doing so with your main deck and your site deck, and you're drawing the cards when you choose to draw the cards and how you want your next kind of turns to go. So there's a lot of decision making, and there's a lot of agency put on you as the player on how you want to both craft your deck, but then how you want the game to play out. And so if you very much like thinky kind of, wow, that's funny, just out of nowhere, there she is. If you very much like kind of thinky, rewarding pieces, Angel's Egg, then this is a great game for you. At the end of each turn, the controller of Angel's Egg's site heals 1 life. Beautiful. We have a berry here, Plumed Pegasus, another foil card in this pack. I'd be curious to know at the end of this how many foils we pull. We're going to take a look at that. Oh, we got a Red Desert. Nice little foil site as well. I think, like I said, I think foil sites are definitely going to be something that people are going to want. I mean, if you just want to try and create a foil set of sites, for example, it's going to be a lot of trading, a lot of back and forth, and a lot of digging and finding and collecting that you're going to have to do, which makes the thing more fun. I love this flaming sword art, and especially as like a full art. Buried treasure. Let's go. What can I do with this? X marks the spot for these exceptional relics. If cast, conjure this under an allied land site of an opponent's choice. When buried treasure is carried to the surface, its controller sacrifices it and draws 2 cards. Oh my god, I have to... This card is so freaking good. This card is so good. Oh my god, look at this card. Okay, so first of all, it's a unique, so it's hard to find, right? Second of all, it costs 1 and can be played by anything at all. Can be played by anything. You can pay any resource, any mana that you can generate to play this. When you play it, the first spell of each element cast by the bearer each turn costs 1 less. Just stop and soak on that. First of all, if you're splashing in different colors, if you will, colors, we'll call them colors, or if different element types, right? If you're splashing those in, this allows you to get value on those. Man, this card's so good. It allows you to get value on those different turns where you're playing cards of different element types, right? So if you cast like an earth spell or a fire spell on the same turn, this is giving you 2 points of value, and you paid 1 for this, like presumably, hopefully at the beginning of the game, because you can accrue max value. This card's so stinking good. Oh my god, I love it. And the art is so great too. I love the like the sketch style, like old Da Vinci style notes. I love anything that looks like that. I don't even know where to put this because I'm so happy that that card exists. Oh my god. And also, it just makes me want to build like the max 4 element type deck just to do like weird memey things, because me as a player, I am that kind of person. I'm the kind of person that goes, you know what, let's try to do the weirdest thing possible. Let's build the weirdest deck possible and see if we can make it work. That is what I enjoy in card games, and this enables that. And it's also just good straight up value. That card's so awesome. We have had some good cards in this box. Sound off in the comment below what your favorite card is, and maybe you'll get it. Unless it's that one, because I'm gonna play the heck out of that. Wow, look at this one. Oh my god. An elite monument to the arrogance of man. Whenever a player draws a card, that player taps their strongest untapped man. Wow, this card's so good too. Oh my god, there's so many like just good splashy cards that you look at and you're like, how is this even possible to exist right now? How are we? Yes, more harpoons. I am building the Armada deck in foils. Let's go. Oh, it's gonna happen. We're gonna do it. We're gonna build the pirate ship deck Fade. Look at that. That's beautiful. Give an allied minion stealth. I don't want this whole process to end. This is a fun process. Now it's interesting because this is a 39 booster pack thing. Now I'm not keeping track. Someone at home count for me if you've counted 39 as we go at the end of this video, which is going to be a long one, I have a feeling, because I have really just kind of taken this in geyser. It's kind of fun. Drums of Doom. Damage dealt to minions nearby is lethal. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Got the Muck Lampreys. God, I really want to see that Dream. It was like Dream Walk or Dream Voyage. I could stop the recording and just go look it up, but I am not going to do that because I will just edit it in post. That's a future me problem. It's not a current me problem, just a future me problem. So yeah, sit back, relax, enjoy the rest of this pack opening as we just kind of wax poetic about the coolness of these cards. Because this is a fantastic little game, and everything that you need to know about it, hopefully you're kind of accepting or just, you know, soaking in these cards as we've looked at them unravel, destroy all artifacts and undead minions at the location up to 2 steps away. It beats you over the head with its theme, and it doesn't hold back on. That's the second sorcerer that we've pulled. It doesn't hold back or kind of hold your hand with a lot of it either. It's like this is how it's gonna be, and if it's for you, great. If it's not, that's fine. Take a hike. No, it doesn't actually say take a hike. Whoa, Mirage. Whoa, that is cool. When played, you may return a site and play you own to your hand and play this site instead. Well, that's kind of fun. That is cool. Incinerate, Dead of Night Demon. We've got the Spin Attack, the Old Salt Anchorman. Nearby allies can't be moved by enemy spells and abilities. Now I need to sit down, collect all of the possible pirate things, and really reflect on if I can make a functional deck out of it. Because if not, we're just using the stone. We're just gonna use the Philosopher's Stone to make things happen. I want to see like the craziest thing that I get, like amount of value that I can get out of the Philosopher's Stone. Now that we have that in hand, I want to take a look at that. Now, one of the other things that I haven't mentioned at all, I should probably bring this up, and I haven't really kept my eye on it, so if I've missed one, let me know in a comment below. But there are actually curio cards hidden in these packs, and they're very rare, very hard to come by, and I think any card could be a curio card, but essentially what they are is they're the same card, functionally the same as, you know, a card in the set, but they've subtly tweaked it. Ooh, look at this Lava Salamander, that's cool. So that when you see that curio card, you're going to look at it, and it's going to be slightly different than the original printing. And what that is it could be like a sketch variant of that card or some balancing type thing. Essentially what they've done is they've allowed you to kind of collect a piece of the game that, oh, this is a great card, by the way, Lightning Bolt. A piece of the game that helped kind of create what we have now. So it could be like a sketch variant or like a work in progress thing, but essentially it's like a celebration of the creation process of the game. Now, I personally haven't seen anything that's jumped out to me to be that thus far, and I don't think you're ever really guaranteed that sort of thing. But you can kind of consider those as like celebration cards and super rare cards. I don't know if they come in foil. In fact, I don't think that they do. Monastery Gargoyle. Wow, look at this. Bedrock. Can't be moved, destroyed, or modified. That is a great art. Wow, we just got a ton of sites back to back. Rift Valley is an elite site. This one's a crazy one. You can pull a partial row or column to make a void. In which you can play that. So basically just like rips a hole in the world and just fits itself in there, creates like a barrel, a barrier, excuse me. Vile Imp. God, this card is so cool. That art is real. I like the style of that. It's like overly lined, like hand-drawn aesthetic. It's very cool. aesthetically in general. All right, I'm almost down to the end of one of these 3 recesses. And this is a beautiful box, by the way. Almost down to the end of one of them, though. So we are coming to the close of these packs as we go. Phantom Sea. Ooh, that's a new one. Root Spider. An exceptional beast with a snare of silk. A recall. Exceptional magic of last resort. Followed by the elite sight of depth and despair. Non-airborne. You just fall down the hole. It's a bottomless pit after all. If you're not flying, you're just gonna die. So yeah, probably don't go that way. Bad idea. Cauldron Crones, Finvale Muse, Wall of Ice, Dispel, Beast of Burden, Drown, Men of Lang, which just looks creepy. They're like goat people. Rain of Arrows, that's a cool one. Deal 1 damage to each above ground minion. All right, final pack of the middle. Final pack of the middle. As we go through it, we've got a couple packs left. And I hope you've enjoyed your experience. I have thoroughly enjoyed, dipping my toes into this one, Undertow. And I am very much looking forward to cracking more of these. If you would like to see more of these box openings and us diving into, wow, what in the world is even going on there? What in the world? They gain Void Walk until, that's so cool. If you'd like to see more of this and just enjoy the experience of watching me go, what, halfway through a sentence, if that's something you're really into, then let me know in a comment below. Sound off if you'd like to see more of this, because I do have, I think, several cases. If I remember correctly, I ordered several cases of this because I was very pumped after playing it, and rightfully so. I think the game is great. I think it plays well. I think it's a lot of fun. Decisions feel like they matter. Sunken Treasure, let's go. If cast, conjure this under an allied water site of an opponent's choice. When Sunken Treasure is carried to the surface, it draws 2 cards. You'll love to see it buried and sunken. Polar Explorers. Sandworm, the classic Sandworm, Dune-esque Sandworm. I wonder if within these last, I think we have like 4 packs or so, if there's any more foils, and then we can kind of reflect on how many foils came in the box, as it were. All right, last pack from the far right side that is off camera, and then we're down to whatever is on camera on the left, and we will find out for ourselves what we've got going on. Drought. Dalcian Phalanx, and there is one of the first things that I might have to edit out. Courtesan Dies. So interestingly enough, this is a game that is unashamed and unabashed about the art, and yes, she is I believe uncovered there. I believe she is, but I'm not going to zoom in because I don't know what I can get away with. But that is a beautiful card. Genesis, during the next turn, each player is controlled by the previous one. That's so nutty. Each player is controlled by the previous one. You know what? I had never really reflected on that card's effect. Because you're just so taken aback by the fact that there's a game that actually printed that. An old school fantasy card game for players with a rich imagination, tactical nerve, and an appreciation for hand-painted art. That is, by the way, I believe their slogan, or their, it is the, oh, Free City, that's cool looking. Oh, that's cool. May attack or defend against enemy units here. Oh, that's awesome. That is their calling card, if you will. And I think that's a pretty good one. Telekinesis, followed by the Pendulum of Peril, a unique monument to cyclical cessation. At the end of each player's turn, it kills all minions at its current locations. And please tell me it's this way too, and an adjacent location of that player's choice. That's so awesome. It swings to the side. Oh, it's just so, like, you know what the card does because they committed to the theme, and they really leaned heavily into the location-based play, if you will. All right, last 2 packs. You get to play the game with me. Would you like to pick the left pack or the right pack? Which do you think will have the better of the 2 cards? We will find out together. If you choose left pack, it's always your turn first, because us left-handed people, we have to get something, okay? We don't get utensils. We don't get scissors. Well, we do, but I mean, they're really bad, let's be honest. So we get to go first. Flanking maneuver, sling pixies, and mountain giant occupies 4 locations. You have to play this on like the what is it? Why am I blanking on them? It's late. It's late at night. You have to play this on the intersection of 4 squares, the points of 4 squares. This is a really big card. As you can see, it costs 8. 4 of that has to be earth. It has 8 power, and it just crushes people when you bring it in. That card, real good. Card, real good. The men are back. Rawl Dromedary is here. Snow Leopard. We've got the Sea Serpent. Oh, I gotta play this. I gotta play the sea stuff. Mortality. Kills all mortal minions at target location up to 2 steps away. The old Border Militia, Sandstorm. All right, so we did have a really cool big guy in Mountain Giant. But let's see if the right pack, the final pack of the box, has anything spicy and special for us. That's the real, true question. If you pick, ooh, Lucky Charm, that's pretty lucky. If you picked right pack, you might be pretty lucky here. The Torshammer Trinket. Then we've got the Shield Maidens. Shield Maidens, good card. Nearby allies take less damage. That is a creepy looking thing, the Mega Amoeba. There it is. Mega Amoeba moves by extending a single pseudopod from any part of itself. It occupies all locations it has ever occupied and has +1 power for each. Kill this thing before it moves too much. Kill it right now. Kill it dead, preferably with fire, and we got another grapple shot. I think that does make 3 or 4 grapple shots from this box, which is really good if you want to play set up grapple shots. Oh, Spectral Stalker. This is one of the greatest arts. Look at that. Just an ordinary undead minion. It's got Void Walk, so it can go wherever, meaning you don't have to forge its own little path for it. You just have it coming at your face. Grey Wolves, Wall of Fire, and the final 2 cards. We got the crabs. Never get crabs, and a beautiful spring river. I don't know. I would personally say that I prefer the giant mountain than the horrifying like amiibo, but that's just me. Let me know in a comment below which of those 2 packs won, and I highly recommend when the time finally comes and things roll around. I highly recommend that you give this a try. At the very least, it creates a fantastically nostalgic opening experience. You've got beautiful art that you get to enjoy. You have the possibility of opening 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 possible. 9 possible foils. Look at, of which we got a unique foil as well. This was probably my favorite card outside of that one that I've forgotten the name on, which is really embarrassing, and don't comment on it in the comments below because I forgot the name of it, unless you know the name of that card, which I'm literally just overlaid like 4 times. This is definitely the favorite card that I'd ever seen from looking through as many of the cards that I could, simply because it just like totally fits my like whole vibe as a just a card game player, because it enables so much like funness. And then we have some great little unique cards, some beautiful arts. Pact with the Devils are really good. I really liked Midland Army myself when I played with it. The craziest boots I've ever seen in my life. You can go under the ground, you can go under the water, you can go everywhere. We're definitely pirates here, so an Island Leviathan fits, and then a really cool Blasted Oak as well. Has a bunch of fun cards to build with and play with. So let me know what you think about Sorcery Contested Realm in a comment below. I can't wait to hear your thoughts, your opinions on this card game. It's a very successful Kickstarter, and in my opinion, going to be a very successful card game going forward. If you enjoyed the video, make a number climb slightly higher. And as always, thanks for watching.